Hey there, everyone. I hope I am audible. So, a very good evening to all. First of all, before we will start our today's session, can you guys confirm to me that whether I am audible or not? Those whosoever is watching, could you please give me a confirmation that is my voice is pretty much clear to everyone or not? Uh, Maybe we will wait for few minutes so that everyone will join. It's just exactly 8 o'clock. So we'll wait for 2, 3 minutes. That's it. And then maybe we can start our session. Where today the target, as you must have seen from the thumbnail, that we will talk about most probably the lead code based questions which are very frequently asked in an interviews. This is one of the most demanded live session. Many students approach to me regarding the same. They are requesting me to, conduct a live session where we can solve or we can see that what kind of questions interviewers can ask from us with respect to DSA. And I hope everyone knows that in any of the interviews, whenever we go with whatsoever position, the very first round is of DSA round. And without the knowledge of that round, you will not able to crack the company. Even though you are very good, having a very good expertise over other domains, whatever you are good at, maybe data science, maybe web development, maybe software engineer, maybe testing, but if you want to crack any product based company, if you want to go for any product based company, the first important step is that you should be able to write a code which is highly optimized. That's why they used to conduct a round where the lead code kind of questions they used to ask. It's kind of a, either they will give your own platform or HackerRank or HackerEarth, and they will just check it out that whether you will be able to capable enough to write a code where you will be able to optimize a code where you will be able to pass all the test cases or not, right? So today we will try to talk about little bit of that, that we will not directly jump towards the high level problems or hard level problems. Today I'll try to keep it very simple, very basic, but as we keep on moving towards further live sessions moving forward, I will increase the complexity again. Okay, so initially, because it's the very first session, I'm assuming that many students might be not aware about the concepts. So I will first of all make sure that you will be aware about the concepts, and then maybe we will move towards the coding part. So all these things we will try to do, but before that, please try to let me know whether I am clearly audible or not. Uh, I'm from Bangladesh and I really like your content. Please continue this series. Take love from Bangladesh. Thank you so much, Rahman. It really means a lot to me. And yes, that's the plan that, we will start now this series and we will try to continue it. Uh, Please make sure that you hit like button and, share these things with everyone to support this channel, right? It really means a lot to me, right? So let's wait for a few more minutes and then maybe we can start. Meanwhile, if anyone is having any sort of questions, you can ask from me. And then we will start our uh, topic regarding the live questions discussions. Meanwhile, I am trying to present my screen and do let me know that whether my screen is properly visible to everyone or not. So is my screen is visible to everyone? Just give me a second. Yes, now it is perfect. I hope my whole screen is visible to everyone, whether I am writing, I am on the lead code dashboard or I am on the blackboard, everything is visible to everyone, right? Perfect. Perfect. So, any questions? Anything? Anurag is saying, I always. try to start my DSA, but due to my office work, I'm not able to be consistent. How can I become consistent? See, it's the issue not for you, but for everyone. Even, for me as well, to be consistent on YouTube. But I am, right? From the past few months, when I opened my YouTube channel, I'm facing so much time lag, right? Time crunch is there. I think this is for everyone. So you have to see the priorities. You have to uh, see that wherever you are having extra time, maybe on the weekends, if you have the time, you have to devote it, right? So then only you will be able to get. It's not like that you can do every day, but if you will be able to do on Saturdays and Sundays, you will be able to devote your time on those days also. I think it would be great enough. But if you will just skip it for 1 month or 2 months, then again to regain that consistency will require the time. And that's quite demotivating. You will feel demotivation after some point of time, right? So make sure that if you are not able to find out time in your working day, that's completely fine, because I can understand that from 10 to 5 or 6 job, after you are coming back to home, or you are doing virtual job also, it's quite hectic. But when you are having a weekend, Saturday and Sunday, at least at that point of time you can spend your time over this particular part. Then also, if you are saying that on weekends also you won't be able to get the time, when there is no office work, that's a issue. Then you have to prioritize your things, right? I hope it answers your question. Anurag, hi Akshat, I hope you all are doing well. Does almost same question come in interview or different? See, nothing is same. See, it's not like that. If we are taking a lead code question of any one topic, and exact same question can come to you. Whenever you are doing any sort of interview based question, you don't need to uh, cram the thing. You just have to understand the approach. And by doing multiple questions from any of the platform, what you will be able to understand is that, okay, these are the ways to solve that problem. I can solve via that, this, or any other stuff. So always, whenever you're solving any DSA problem, try to look for multiple approaches. And don't expect that interviewer will ask you exactly the same question. They can manipulate the question, but after some point of time, when you keep on practicing these questions, your mind will be trained in such a way that you will be able to get an idea that I will be easily able to solve this question via the approach that I have applied in the XYZ question. Okay, so approaches can be similar. And once you will be having multiple approaches in your head, you will be easily able to answer to them. But it might not be the case. It can be the case that you will be able to get exactly the same question. It can be the case you will be able to get manipulated questions with respect to the same. For example, we have a topic of binary search, right? Now, in binary search, the concept is same, but you have to manipulate that concept in whatever questions they're asking, right? That's the ultimate thing that you have to understand. Basics or fundamentals are same, but approach you need to change according to the problem statement. It can be picked from lead code, it cannot be picked from lead code, it can be designed by the interviewer itself, right? It might be the case. Topic wise lead code questions, yeah, that's the plan. So what I supposed to do, so now I think we can start our session. It's been a while. So here, if you will observe what's the plan is, we will try to first of all understand the concept, right? And after that we will try to solve the question, and then we will try to see what's the drawback of that particular approach that we have solved, and how we can optimize that code. In this way, I'm not sure that whether in one session we will be able to solve one problem or two problems, not more than two. I'm pretty sure, because I don't want these sessions to be very, very long. It's just half an hour to 1 hour kind of a session will be there. And then after the end of the session, what I really want from you all is that, whatever questions we have discussed in the main session, The very first thing that these sessions will be uploaded in the playlist of FAANG interview series. So if you remember, in my YouTube channel, I have created a playlist by the name of FAANG interview series. Do you remember that? So I can show you. So if you will go to my channel, here is a playlist of FAANG DSA interview series. In this playlist itself, I will keep on adding the live sessions as well, which we are doing today. Okay. So if anyone missed these live sessions, they can watch it from there. Second important thing is what I really want from you all is once we are done with the live session, I want from you all to mention in the comment section that what thing you have learned from this session, right? For example, what things we have solved today, what's the issue we have faced, and how basically we have resolved. I don't want a complete description of the video. I want a brief, bold points, to the point, precise, concise kind of a thing from you all, so that I will get to know that okay, what whether you will be able to learn something out of it or not. So this will make me understand that how much you guys will be able to understand. Okay, so I will look all the comments, that's for sure, and let's see who will be able to be consistent in the complete series of solving these lead code based questions. I'll try to conduct at least one session per week. It can be more depending upon the time availability, but can't commit, but at least try to conduct at least one session in a week with respect to the lead code part. I hope it would be good, it would be great. Anything, any feedback, anything you want to say on top of this? Anyone? That there is some part. Yes, there is a patterns in DSA question. That's what I am saying. If you will be able to solve different varieties of problems, if you will be able to understand the different patterns, after some point of time, you will feel like even though question is different, but we are solving the similar kind of approaches there, right? So shall we start now? Okay. How many of you knows the concept of recursion? How many of you knows the concept of recursion? See, many people says that recursion is something which is not uh, very much important in DSA. DP, dynamic programming, is something which is very widely asked in interviews if you are preparing for Google or Microsoft kind of companies. See, always understand recursion is the heart of DSA. Many problems you can solve via recursion, or at least you will be able to tell a brute force approach. What is brute force approach? The naive approach, which you feel like that this is the starting point from where you can start your solution of the problem. This is the heart of DSA, data structure algorithms. Many problems, even dynamic programming, even divide and conquer complete module, even multiple questions with respect to DSA can be solved via the concept of recursion only. Now, what is recursion, by the way? Who can tell me? What is recursion? So, can I say that recursion is something, the concept where function is calling itself? Can I say that the recursion is something where function calls itself? See, there are some disadvantages of recursion as well. And today we will see that. What is the problem in recursion? We will try to solve one problem via recursion. I'll try to run on that problem via Leetcode platform. We'll face some trouble. I will let you know what's the trouble. And then we will talk about some other concept on top of that. Okay? Recursion is something where in its definition, function's definition, we are calling the same function again and again with different set of parameters, right? The very basic example which you will see everywhere, maybe on YouTube or in any of the course you will buy, is the Fibonacci series. Is everyone knows what is Fibonacci series? So I'm starting from very basic, guys, and step by step we will move towards Leetcode easy to medium and medium to hard level problems. So what is Fibonacci series? Fibonacci series is, if suppose I will create one array here, right? and here suppose 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and so on. Here I will be having 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. In Fibonacci series, it says that what is the output with respect to 0? 0 will remain 0, 1 will remain 1. But when it comes to 2, it's the summation of the last two numbers. It's the summation of the last two numbers, so it will be 1. Again, with respect to 3, it's the summation of the last two numbers, so the answer will be 2. Again, with respect to 4, it's the summation of the last two numbers, so the answer will be, who can tell me? What is the fib of 4 value? It should be equals to, can I say it will be 3? Fib of 5 will be 5. Fib of 6 will be 8. Fib of 7 will be, can I say 13? 8 plus 5? Is everyone agrees with me? So what I have done is, in the simple scenario, what we are observing here, that when the value of n is less than equal to 1, we are returning directly the value of n itself. And when the value of n is bigger than 1, what we are doing is, we are returning the value of what is the value present at n minus 1 plus what is the value present at n minus 2. Is everyone agrees with me on this point? And this is something that we called as recurrence relation. Recurrence relation of fib of n. For every particular recursive code, there is a recurrence relation. So what you are trying to do is, what I am saying is, when the value of n is less than equal to 1, considering that n is always positive number or is equals to 0. So when the value of n is less than equal to 1, means at 0, what we are returning? 0 itself. At 1, what we are returning? 1 only. But at 2, what we are returning? We are returning the value of what is fib of 1 plus what is fib of 0. So 1 plus 0 is 1. Make sense? So if I will write a pseudo code for this particular solution, recursive code is, I am saying if n is less than equals to 1, what I am doing is, I am returning directly the value of n. Right? Else, in other case, what we are doing is, we are returning what is the value of n minus 1 plus what is the value of n minus 2. And that is the code. Simple. That's the recursive code. What is recursion here? This is the main method, right? This is the method name or the function name that we have. And we are calling the same function here as well as here, but with different set of parameters. With different set of parameters. Is everyone agrees with me? And this is something that we called as recursion. That is, we are calling the same function here again. And that's why it is called as recursion. Now, recursion is composed of two things. If someone will ask you, recursive code, it will always compose of two things. One is something that you will call as a base case condition, where your code will get stopped. So this is the base case condition, where you are saying that when the value of n is less than equals to 1, return me the n. This is the stopping criteria. And one is the recursive call. And this is the recursive call that we have seen here. Is this clear? So what we have understood until so far, that for any of the recursive code, we have to take care of two things. One is called as base case condition. One is called as base case condition. And the second thing is called as recursive calls. And I have shown you the example of Fibonacci series, where both of the things are happening. Condition number 1 is base case condition is there. 2 is recursive calls are there. Make sense? Make sense? Now, moving ahead. If I will ask you, what is the time complexity required for this approach? Can anyone tell me? What is the time complexity required for this approach? It's exponential. So Akshay is saying it very much apt. Until so far, I am getting only one correct answer. It's exponential. In between the sessions, I will ask the questions. Be very attentive what I am asking. Right? So here, if you will observe, what I am saying here is it's exponential. Why is that so? Try to understand what is happening here. Suppose I want to calculate what is the value of fib of maybe 5. What will happen? It's not n square. It's not n square. It's 2 to the power n. It's 2 to the power n. It's not n square. It's 2 to the power n. That's why it's exponential. How? For example, I want to calculate what is the value of fib of 5. So what will you do? You will say that it will be nothing but what is the value of fib of 4 and what is the value of fib of 3. Right? After that, what will happen? Again, you will again call it again. What is the value of fib of 3? What is the value of fib of 2? Again, what will you do? You will calculate what is the value of fib of 2? What is the value of fib of 1? Again, what will you do? You will again call it fib of 1 and fib of 0. Fib of 0. It means you will keep on calling these functions until you will reach to a base case condition. Now, it's a base case condition where I will be able to get the answer as 1 and 0. And now fib of 2 will return to me the answer as 1. Again, for this will return me the answer as 1. This is how any recursive code will work. 1 plus 1 is 2. So fib of 3 will give me the answer as 2. Now, when the function call will go back to fib of 4, what will happen? It will say that give me the answer of fib of 2. Now, again, it will do the recalculation of finding out the value of fib of 2, which is fib of 1 and fib of 0. Again, what will happen? It will return the answer as 1 here and 0 here. So the answer will be equals to 1. Again, fib of 4 will be equals to 3. Again, this fib of 3 will be calculated, but anyhow, I have done the calculation and I have got the answer from the left side, which is 2. So I'm just copying it here. And now I will be definitely able to get the final answer as 5. This is how complete recursive code will work. But in this recursive code, there is an issue. What was that issue? If you will be able to observe, here I have to again do the recalculation for finding out what is the value of fib of 3. You have to create again a complete recursive tree here, right? Just like the way we have done for the left hand side. Now, here if you will observe, in this particular case, this problem cause a TLE kind of a issue. This problem will cause a TLE, time limit exceeded kind of a issue. Whenever you will solve this kind of problems on a Leetcode platform, you will always get the answer as TLE if you will solve via recursive code. Why is that so? Because that's the issue. It will try to again and again recalculate the same thing. And which particular data structure algorithms avoid this problem? Anyone, any idea? How can I avoid this issue where I am doing a recalculation of the same thing again and again? This is called as overlapping subproblem. Means we are trying to again and again calculating the same subproblem again and again. How we can solve it? Via the help of DP. Yes. With the help of a dynamic programming, we can solve it. Or maybe without using any recursive code also, you can solve it. Right? Without using any recursive code also, you can solve it. Right? Okay. So now we are at how basically we will be able to get it exponential. For that, either you can follow the recursive tree or you can follow the recurrence relation. Now for that, I have to talk about the recurrence relation, which I already have created in my playlist. I believe so. T of n is equals to T of n minus 1 plus T of n minus 2. Plus obviously there will be a constant C. Now what you're supposed to do is you're supposed to see that at each and every time what you are doing is you're trying to do n minus 1 and n minus 2. Again n minus 2 and n minus 3. N minus 3 and n minus 4. Now these things, whatever I am writing here, is called as a recursive tree. Even above also, whatever tree I have created is same recursive tree. In order to solve this recursive tree recurrence relation, where you will be having more than one recursive terms, there is a concept of recurrence relation solving method, recursive tree method, which basically helps us to avoid that what is the value of this. So here you will be able to get C, 2C, 4C, and so on. So what is happening here is that for any one problem, you are dividing that one problem into two parts, n minus 1 and n minus 2. Again, n minus 2 and n minus 3. Until how many number of levels you're supposed to do the similar task, that is what you have to find out. So if you know the recurrence relation solutions, how many of you here are aware about how we can solve any recurrence relation? There are three methods: substitution, recursive tree approach, and Master's theorem. How many of you are aware about the recurrence relation solving methods? So if there is someone who is not at all aware about those concepts, so today's focus is not on that part, but you can try to watch my video. I will check it out. If there is no video available, I'm not sure that whether in my playlist video is uploaded or not. If it's not uploaded, I will upload that. But please make sure that you should know that how basically we can solve any recurrence relation. So when you solve this, you will be able to get that your time complexity will be something which is equals to big O of 2 ki power n. Okay. As of now, let's take it maybe after the session. I'm not sure that how much time it will take. I have to talk about from scratch if we will focus on solving the recurrence relation method. Let's try to focus on the problem statement as of now. So here the major problem was that in the Fibonacci series, the issue is that via recursion, we are solving the same problem again and again. So one way is either we should go for DP approach or we should go for a iterative approach, right? Similar to this question, usually this question was never asked in the interviews, Fibonacci series. It's kind of an obsolete question in recursion. But correspond to this question, a new question came up, which is about the climbing a stairs, which is exactly the same, but many people don't know and they usually get confused. And that was the question which I have opened in my Leetcode platform. If you will observe here, this is the problem statement. If you will go here in the description part, if you will see, you are climbing a staircase. It takes n steps to reach the top. Each time you can either climb 1 or 2 steps. In how many distinct ways you can climb to the top? That's the question. Now, try to understand what they are saying. If we are having a stairs, okay, consider a situation that you need to go upstairs. Now, what I am saying is either you can go only one step or you can go 2 steps at a time. Okay, you can't directly jump to the 3 steps. Either you can go only one step or you can go to the 2 steps. How will you solve this problem? See, if suppose I will be having only one stair, can you tell me how many number of ways I can go to the upstairs? If I will be having only one number of stairs, can you let me know how many number of ways we have to reach upstairs? What will be the answer? One way? Everyone agrees with me? Perfect. How one way? Because a person can choose one step at a time and will be able to reach to the upstairs. Okay, perfect. When the value of n is equals to 2, at that point of time, how many number of ways are there to reach upstairs? How many number of ways are there to reach upstairs? When the value of n is equals to 2, how many number of ways are there to reach upstairs? Many people are saying one, then two, then three. Think before saying anything. It should be two ways, right? How I am saying two ways? Because see, either a person can go one step at a time and then again one step at a time, and he will be able to reach to upstairs, or that directly he can use two steps and will be able to reach to upstairs. Can I say in total a person can go two times? Two ways are there, right? One or directly two. Okay. If the value of n is equals to 3, how many number of ways are there? Think over it and then answer. Let's see who will be able to give me the correct answer. When the value of n is equals to 3, how many number of ways are there to reach upstairs? So many people are saying 2. Again think. Many people are saying 2 is the answer. Again think, I am saying. Saurav is saying 6. Akshat is saying 3. Everyone's answer is different. See, the major issue in DSA problem solving is that many students, I'm saying it, please believe me, whenever you are going for any interview, you will observe this thing. The major issue in solving the problem statements, problems in DSA is that many students not even able to understand the problem statement itself. Then how will they able to approach towards the correct solution? The very first thing, 50% of your task will be solved if you will be able to understand how the input and output is coming up. That's it. Then think about the approach. See, three ways. Okay. Many people are now saying three ways. How is it that possible? See, one way is that a person can go one step, then again one step, then again one step, right? Or a person can go firstly one step and then two step. Or a person can go firstly two steps and then one step. Can a person can go three step? Can I write three step directly? Can I write three step? Why this is not correct? Because in my question, it is clearly mentioned in the Leetcode. If you will observe, a person can either climb one or two. I can't write on my own wish that it should be three, right? So it should not be possible. So our answer should be, when the value of n is equals to 3, is three ways. Everyone agrees with me? Let's do for the last one, and then I will come to the conclusion what I am trying to say here. When the value of n is equals to 4, how many steps will be there? When the value of n is equals to 4, how many steps will be there? So Akshat is saying it's 5. What about others? Can I say 5? Okay, what are those 5 steps? I think 5 is the correct answer. What are the 5 steps? Who can tell me? One step is a person can go one step, one step, one step, and then further one step. Another way is a person can go one step, then two step, then further one step. Another way is a person can go maybe two steps, then one step, then one step. Another way is a person can go one step, and then two steps. And the last one is a person can go two step and further two step. So in total, if you will observe, how many number of ways it is possible? 5 ways, right? Now, this much time is required to understand the problem once. Once you understand the problem, Now, do you remember in the initial part of our session discussion, I was saying, once you will be able to understand one problem approach, you just need to try to correlate the same problem with the previous one. Here the correlation factor is happening. What was the Fibonacci series, by the way? What was the Fibonacci series? 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, right? We have seen in the Fibonacci series, the output will be 0, 1, 1, 2, 3, 5, and 8. Now here if you will observe, when the value of n is equals to 1, I was getting the answer in the Fibonacci series value of 2. When the value of n is equals to 2, I was getting the answer which was available in n equals to 3. Just observe, just listen what I am saying. When the value of n is equals to 3, I was getting the answer as 3, which was available in fib of 4. When the value of n is equals to 4, I was getting the answer which is 5, which is available in fib of 5. We know the answers. Even if you will check when the value of n is equals to, just wait. Yes, it's correct, right? What does that indicate? Anyone who can just after observing the things can let me know. If I want to get an answer of climbing a stairs, for example, if I will say when the value of n is equals to 5, number of stairs are equals to 5, what will be the answer? At what location my answer is present in Fibonacci series? When the value of n is equals to 5, when the value of n is equals to 5, I will be having 5 number of stairs. I am saying how many number of possible ways are there? If you want to get the direct answer, how will you get? Can you tell me by looking into the table? Just see the 6. What is the answer? 8. So you will observe that 8 number of ways are there when the value of n is equals to 5. Will you agree with me that there will be 8 number of cases? How 8 number of cases are there? Can anyone tell me? 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. This is my first case. Now, what can be the other cases? A person can go first step, one step, then 2 steps, then 2 steps. A person can go 2 step, 1 step, 2 step. A person can go 2 step, 2 step, 1 step. Then a person can go 2 step, 3 step, 4 step, 5 step. Then a person can go 1 step, 2 step, 5. Then a person can go 1, 1, 2, 1. Then a person can go 1, 1, 1, 2. How many cases are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. The last case is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Right? It means that 8 cases are possible. Is everyone agrees with me? Any doubt in this part? So what we are observing here, that in the Fibonacci series, my answer is available, but not at n position. If in the climbing stairs I am talking about n, so it is available in my Fibonacci series at n plus 1. Do you guys agree with me? See, what I am saying is, if I am looking for n stair in my climbing a stair question, That answer is available in the n plus 1th index in the Fibonacci series. Do you guys agree with me? Do you guys agree with me on this point? This question is exactly the same as Fibonacci series, but in this question, when I am looking for an n value, that n value number of ways will be available in the n plus 1 in Fibonacci series. So if I try to write down the code in the platform, let me just open it here. If I will try to write it down the code here, how can I write? What I can do is, maybe I will directly return, what I can return, I can directly return one function which is climb stairs function. And inside that, instead of passing n, I know that that value is available at n plus 1. Does everyone agrees with me on this point? Now what I will do is, I will define this function. Function is public int, and here I will be having climb stairs. And here I can define this function int n. What can I do? Maybe I will be having one result variable which is equals to 0. I can say that if the value of n is less than equals to 1, do one thing for me. Just directly return me the value of n itself. If that is not the scenario, in that case, my result is equal to, I can call the same function again, climb stairs, n minus 1. I think this was the same code that we have used for Fibonacci series. So I am using the same code in the just like the Fibonacci series, and I can return the result here. But whenever n is there, I am calling n plus 1. Why? Because that's the relationship we have find out between the climb stairs n value and Fibonacci value. Fibonacci n value, you can say. We observed that when I'm saying n equals to 2, so it is available in Fibonacci series at the value of n as 3, at the value of index as 3. That's why I am calling n plus 1, and then I am defining this function which is climb stairs. So when n value is equals to 2, internally it will go and find out what is the value present at 3. And at 3, I have written down the exact same function. So this is the same method definition of Fibonacci series. If you observe, exactly the same I have written. Do you guys agree with me? In this case, if you will observe, what I am doing is I am calling my recursive function call. And this is something which is the base case condition. And that is what I have mentioned in the starting of the session. That whenever we are solving any of the question via recursion, we require only two things. One is the base case condition, another one is the recursive function call. Now, if I try to run this code, what is happening? Just let me, what it is saying, that these small cases are fine. They are working fine. I hope everyone can see my screen. But when you go and try to submit this question, you will face some trouble. Let me show you what is the trouble. What is it? It is showing to me TLE. When the value of n is big, it is 44. At that point of time, my code is not working fine. For the small cases, when the value of n is less than 44, recursion plays a very good role, and it gives me the correct answer. But when the value of n is bigger than 44, it shows me TLE. And what's the reason of that? Now, if someone will ask you why it is giving you TLE, can you guys able to answer to them? Why we are getting a TLE kind of a issue? Can anyone tell me? Because of the issue of overlapping subproblems. What is the meaning of that? That my recursion functions will try to recalculate the similar kind of values which they have already calculated. And that's the trouble. That's the issue. And because of this issue of recursion, dynamic programming originated. Dynamic programming came into picture. But today I will not focus on DP. Without DP also we can solve this question via simple, without calling any recursion. How can we solve? So today I'm not going to the DP approach. We will go maybe later. But today, what I'm saying is we can solve the same question without using recursion. And at that point of time, it will be able to get the result as well. How? Can anyone tell me? Anyone? So what is the answer I am getting here? In the climbing the stairs, when the value of n is equals to 1, I am getting the answer as 1. When the value of n is equals to 2, I am getting the answer as 2. Everyone agrees with me? 4 6 it will be 13. Yes, it's correct. 4 6 it will be 13. That's perfect, because if you will 6 will be available at 7th index, and 8 plus 5 will be equals to 13. Okay, moving ahead. So what I was saying is that when we will be having the value of n equals to 1, we are getting a answer as 1. When the value of n is equals to 2, we are getting the answer as 2. So what I can do here? Now just see again the approach which I am trying to solve here. So what I can do here, maybe I will reset my code to default. I hope this part is clear to everyone. Shall I remove this code? Is this code is having any doubt, anyone? Via recursion, how we can solve this problem? So what we have observed until so far, we have solved the problem via recursion. We have seen some big issue in recursion, which can happen when the value of n is very big. Right? Now we are trying to solve this code without using recursion. So shall I remove this code? Anyone, any issue until so far? So I am trying to remove this code then. Okay. Now what I will do here? I am saying one thing. If the value of n is equal to 1, see this. What should be the answer? If the value of n is equal to 1, what do you think is the answer? What my code should return? When I will be having only single stair, the answer should be, can I say it will be 1? Perfect. If that is not the case, I will take some variable. I'll take one variable called as first, because my value of n is 1, then the answer is 1. First value contains 1. My second value will be equal to 2. Does everyone agrees with me? Now what I will do, I'll do one simple task. I'll say I equal to 3, I less than what? I less than equals to the value of n, I plus plus. I'm applying one simple for loop, and inside that I'm using one variable called as third, which is equal to the summation of first and second. So what we will be able to do here? We have initialized that initially my answer of first, when the value of n is 1, is 1. When the value of n is 2, is 2. Now to calculate the third value, you have to add first and second. And we have applied a loop. What will happen is, now I am saying my second value will become first, and my third value will become second. Just observe this, what I am doing here. And finally, after returning out of this loop, I am returning the answer of second. How many of you will be able to understand what I did here? See, for example, if I will go back to our blackboard, what I am saying here, for example, here I will be having the value of n. Let's take very small example. We will be having 1, 2, 3, and 4. I want the answer n equal to 4. Okay. I want the answer n equal to 4. अब 4 में हमारा आंसर क्या है? What is the answer at 4? It will be 5 ways, right? How we will be able to get without using the recursion, without using that Fibonacci series concept. What we have done is, we know first value will always be 1. Second value will always be 2. Now I am saying I equal to 3. At I equal to 3, my initially first variable will be 1, and the second variable will be equals to 2. At I equal to 3, I am saying my third value will be first plus second, so it will be equals to 3. Even I am not using any data to store here. Just for the representation I am showing to you, but I am not using any data structure to store the values. Now what I am saying is, in the next case, whatsoever be the value of second I have will become third first. Whatsoever be the value of third I have will become my second. So what I will do, I will just add this 3 plus 2, which is equals to 5. Now what will happen again? Whatsoever the value I will be having as a second will become first. Whatsoever the value at third will become second. And finally, when I will be out of my loop, I will return the value of second, which is 5. So 5 is the answer. So without even storing the data at anywhere with using one single for loop, what we are just doing is we are just updating the pointers first, second, and third. That's it. And finally, when our loop will be out of that, we are returning the second value. So if you will observe, if I run this code, what we will be able to get? It is passing. So test cases are passing. If I just try to submit it, it is accepted, right? Initially, if you will observe, it was not submitted because it is showing TLE kind of issue. But now, because we are just working with simple variables and we're just changing that, it is working perfectly fine. Now here, if you will observe, one more thing is good thing. Here, if you will observe, when I'm using the recursion, whenever you are using recursion, there is a space which you are using, because there is a stack which plays important role to store the function calls. So you are saying that I am having fib of 5, then you are having fib of 4 and 3 you are calling, right? For fib of 4 you're calling fib of 3 and fib of 2 and so on. So you are storing function calls inside the stack based data structure. So you're using a space complexity as big of n as well in worst case scenario. But when I'm doing this question via a simple for loop, via iterative approach, in this case, I'm not even using any extra space. I'm just changing the variables and I'm getting the answer. So within a space complexity of big O of 1, which is a constant, I will be able to solve the question. This is the highly optimized approach, as it is having a time complexity of only big O of n, because only one single for loop we are using, and it is having a space complexity of, so without having a knowledge of DP also, you can clearly find an optimized approach just by using a good IQ, right? It's a very simple thing, right? It's very simple. It's not something rocket science which I did here. But the only thing is that you have to understand and you have to be very attentive whenever you're doing any sort of question. Because you know recursion, it doesn't make sense that you will use recursion. Because you know DP, it doesn't make sense that you will always use DP. You have to see that at what point of time, which particular approach can give me the best result, highly optimized result, the results which is having low time and space complexity. It should not be like that without any need of recursion, you're applying a recursion. Without any need of DP, you're applying a DP. It's not a good approach. So with the help of very simple approach, we can solve this problem. Then why there is a need to use heavy concepts? Make sense? Any doubt? Anyone? Until this point of time? I think it's been 1 hour and we have just solved one problem. That's the thing in the live session. It should go, it's going very slow, but because we are interacting and you are asking the doubts and anything, I really like this, right? So I think this part is enough. Let's take one more question in the next session, and that question will be again of maybe binary search concept. I will add this particular part, the question as well as the notes, in the live session of this description of this video. But make sure that after ending this live session, you will write in the comment section that what you have learned in this particular session, what are the approaches that we have solved, what is the time complexity for every approach, and you have to write in a very brief way, so that if suppose I am looking into this, it won't take much time to me as well to look into it, and even for others as well, right? So we will try to continue this kind of questions discussion every week, at least one question, and at max two questions. More than two I won't take, because I really want quality time. I don't really focus on how much quantity we are solving. I really focus that we are trying to devote a proper time to one question in understanding the problem statement, then solving it with multiple approaches, and then looking into the time and the space complexity aspect of that. That's really matters. Make sure before coming to the next session also, you will be having a good idea of recurrence relation solving methods. For example, today many students don't able to get an idea that how we will be able to get a exponential time complexity, and that only you will be able to get when you will be good in recurrence relation solving methods. So I will look into it whether I have already uploaded the videos of recurrence relation solving methods or not in my DSA playlist. If I have, then you have to just let me look into this right now or right away. Let me go back to the DSA using Python playlist in my channel, and let me just see. Okay, so recurrence relation solving methods videos are not there. So I will try to upload it in this particular playlist, DSA using Python. You can refer those particular videos in order to understand that how we can solve recurrence relation methods. And after that, maybe in the next session, it will really help me to be aware you that okay, you can solve this via this method and that method, because you already aware about that, right? And we will not waste any time over those parts which are very basic things, right? Okay, so shall we leave now? Any doubt, anyone? Whatever we have discussed, is everything is clear to everyone? Any feedback you want to give, anything? Why companies ask this kind of question? The very simple reason is that see, if you don't know how you can optimize your code, then it's really a big trouble for you, because optimization is something which you require in any domain, in every each and every domain. Whether you are data scientist, whether you are a software engineer, whether you are in a testing domain, so they just really want to see your IQ level, right? They will not, believe me, they will not ask you very hard level questions. They will ask you the questions in the easy to moderate level, maybe from arrays, from strings. Mainly these are the questions which are very repetitive. It's not like that they will directly jump towards the dynamic programming, but the point is that whether you will be able to solve even those questions in a proper way or not. By saying proper way, you can tell them that this is the brute force approach, followed by this is the optimized approach, and you will be able to certainly find out a proper time and the space complexity. So just to check your knowledge in terms of IQ level, problem solving skills, logical building ability, this DSA plays a very important role. That's it, right? So, okay then, I will be waiting for your comments. Please do hit like button and share this particular series to everyone. Whenever you are going for any interviews, make sure that I will keep on adding the questions inside this particular playlist. I have added previously as well, but now we will try to mature this playlist more, so that if there is anyone who is going for an interviews, at least they will get an idea that these are the questions which are very widely asked. At least I should prepare these questions, right? So that's it for the today's class. We will try to interact. I will try to interact with you all again next week. We will solve again next very interesting question. So I will try to take only those questions which are not already covered up in these videos. I will not repeat any question. For example, if you will observe in this video, this question that we have discussed today, climbing stairs, is not there. So if you if you didn't watch these videos, please do watch this, because I will not repeat the questions of the Leetcode. All these are the Leetcode based questions. So they are directly taken from the Leetcode platform. And now we will try to take unique questions apart from the questions which are already there in the playlist. Okay. Okay then, guys, thank you so much for joining in, and I'll see you all next week. Bye bye and happy learning to all.